We are live. We are live. Welcome to my YouTube viewers back on Talk Talk Live. Yes, indeed. How is everybody doing tonight on a Tuesday night here in the city of Toronto? Hope everybody is well. Let me just get my water, please, and thank you. Yes, indeed. Yes, I am back, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. I hope I have set myself up. I have heard from the powers that be that the shirts are, the the gear is not fitting. Well, it is fitting right, but it's just not fitted properly for camera usage. So yes, we are back with Talk Talk Live. Yes, indeed. Thank you for joining me on Talk Talk Live, live on IG and YouTube, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com, DUNTALK.com. Spring summer line out now, including this. We are ready to go tonight on Talk Talk Live. Thank you for joining me, and yeah, let's get into it. Hope you had a great weekend. Sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. It was a few fires I had to put out. Those fires are now put out, and now we are back. We are back. We are live, and we're gonna talk about something that just come down the pike. It's been it's pretty much a hot topic everywhere, especially in the manosphere, especially in the black manosphere, especially on YouTube. Period, and that is the Just Pearly Things controversy. Just Pearly Things, who has had a meteoric rise in the manosphere space, in the YouTube space, in the quote unquote black manosphere space, as she does have she does have mainly black employees and mainly black employees, staff, and she pretty much talks about a lot of African diaspora topics, although she is white. She is white, if you did not know. Now, again, I'll just get on to, let me just get on to the internet here, and we're going to go on to this. Oh, shoot, let me just make sure I'm on the browser here. So y'all come with me on Talk Talk Live, live on YouTube. There we go. And we're just going to say hello to Just Pearly Things. And just so you know, yes, indeed. And yes, here she is. Just Pearly Things. Let me just get her images here. All right. There she is. That is Just Pearly Things right here. So we're just going to see here. Yes, indeed. What happened there? Oh, I lost myself for a little bit. Yes, indeed. Okay, well, I did not want the actual channel. I just wanted the actual portrait. Yes, there we go. And there she is. That's Just Pearly Things. If you did not know, she is here live on YouTube. And this lady has again had a meteoric rise on the YouTube spaces. She's over 1 million subscribers to this point in time. She raised it on basically on shorts, debating manosphere dash red pill talking points, and and she's come with the data, facts, data, and statistics, and I repeat, was the fan of hers up until recently. And those recent events came about, I believe, late last week. She recently interviewed a known conservative, right-wing conservative, white supremacist named Nick Fuentes. And now Nick is you'll see in a video coming up. Nick is, let me just, you know what? Let's just pull him up quickly. There we go. That is Nick. So we're just going to go to another, here we go. Nicholas J. Fuentes. Here we go. So let's just get some images out. Yes. So here's the gentleman here named Nick Fuentes. Yes, indeed. Now, Nick is a known white supremacist, a known... There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's Nick Fuentes here. Nick is a known white supremacist, known right-wing conservative, even though he says he is a friend of Kanye West, although I do consider him still a genius. He still has less than flattering views about minorities, about different races, about different creeds, about different colors, and some would call him an incel, but again, and a little man, but again, whatever floats your boat, my people. But again, it's he has a few talking points that are none too flattering to many of people and many environment, as you probably will tell. And again, just Pearly things. Just Pearly things. Let me just get this out of here quickly. Just Pearly things. There we go. Just Pearly things. That's here. Invited Nick over to have a discussion, have a chat, have a talk with Nick about his views and his talking points, and to really just see where he stood on certain things, and maybe push back on others. But it didn't exactly turn out that way. It didn't exactly turn out that way at all. And it did shock a lot of people, including her fan base, which are mainly black males. And it did not, it did not surprise others. Those of the the pro-black of the pro-black variety did not see any surprise in what she did, because again, as will be shown later, her views were that were continuing from the beginning. Again, she is a white lady. She may have black staff. She may be dating a black man. However, some of her views are very much in line with those of Nick. And that will be shown a little bit later on in the show. But let's go to what exactly happened on the show. I think I just pulled up something from... Here we go. Yes. No. Wait. Here we go. Yes, indeed. I think it's here. Let me see here. Yes, indeed. Yes. So we're just going to go to Six the Goddess. And we're going to get into what she had to say on the show. So we're just going to peel to that right quickly. And she'll introduce the tape, and we're going to get into it right now. As to the offending comments said by Just Pearly Things, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Live on IG and YouTube, on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And Six the Goddess, please elucidate us. I'm just going to fast forward this a little bit, and we're going to get into it.
Seeing some of y'all reactions to this has been very interesting to me, and I'm going to discuss that afterwards. But right now, let's go ahead and just give y'all a little clip on, what is come out on her real feelings about. Let's just watch it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of deny it happened.
Yeah, I deny some of the parts of it.
You deny parts of it don't seem realistic to you. You think they were embellished upon.
I think they're embellished, yeah.
The same way. This sounds... Oh, gosh.
Here it goes.
They're going to be in trouble. This sounds similar to the slavery stuff, too.
Nobody. Literally nobody. Not one
because
soul.
that's literally they...
Not one soul. White people. Slavery. BLM. Blacks. Y'all are obsessed. Now, I've said this once, I've said it twice, I said me personally.
Hold on, that may not be the best way to do things, because we're just going to get her talking points, which we'll get to a little later. I think we're just going to pull up. Let's just go to YouTube here. Sorry for this delay, guys. We're building it as we fly it. And we are going to get to the offending comics, and so I can make comment myself, and then we're going to get into other people's takes on things. Now, again, the business. Here we go. Yes, perfect. So we're going to get to those comments right here.
Understand one critical fact. The single most important decision you are ever going to make in your...
Just a pause there. And again, let me just get to what we came here for. Let me see. Videos. Yes, indeed. Sorry, guys. I should have done this research a bit earlier, but this is too important to pass up. So, let me see here. Let me see here. I would have thought that I would have been here. Anyways, let's move on. Oh, maybe a live? Maybe the live is the one. We'll get this on here. Yes, here we go. Carpetbaggers and vultures. Here we go. That's the one we wanted to get to. So let's just go into the offending comments said by Just Pearly Things. I'll just pause. And shout out to the business. I am subscribing now, as you can clearly see. I am subscribing now, as you can see, and I hope you as well go and subscribe to the business. I am just scanning through here. Here we go. Here's the one that everybody's referring to, really. And yes, we're just going to get into it. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. And yes, we have finally reached our destination. So let's jump into this and see what she and Mr. Fuentes had to say.
Out for myself, and let me tell you, yeah, they did exactly what you all are afraid of, what you be thinking about. What I want to do here is I want to start with Charlottesville, by the way. Let's go ahead and just start there because maybe Jason's making things up. But she asked him about his credentials and why he is so controversial. And listen to what they say about Charlottesville.
Well, the rest.
No, I don't even remember. So what happened? Someone died, didn't it?
Yeah, this woman died, and there's a lot.
For a person who's so concerned about black issues, for her not to know about Charlottesville is an absolute travesty. That's her first mistake. That is her first mistake, and I'm sure that other people will. I'm sorry, we had to get that into focus. There we go. That's her first mistake. Her first mistake, the fact that she didn't know anything about Charlottesville. Now, if you didn't know about Charlottesville, and if you were under a rock, Charlottesville was a clash of cultures, to say the least, of neo-Nazi white supremacists and and woke slash anti-racist protesters. And it ended in tragedy as one woman who was an anti-racist protester died when a white supremacist ran her over with his car. And for Just Pearly Things to be totally oblivious to that fact, knowing that she has been considered woke and considered one to have black talking points at heart, is a bit of a tragedy. Let's move on.
It's very contentious what exactly happened there
There was a
because
shooting. Is that what happened?
no, she got ran over by a car.
Oh, okay, it said Charlottesville shooting, but
Yeah.
on here. But okay, she got ran over by a car, and that was who ran her over.
This guy who was with this group called Vanguard America.
His name was James Alex Fields, and her name was Heather Heyer.
Thank you.
I know, I did a documentary about it. Did you see how dismissive that was? And by the way, this sets the tone for Just Pearly Things. She spends this entire time acting like a dumb ditzy blonde. She's gonna pretend that she doesn't know anything about any of this. But throughout the interview, she's gonna keep snitching on herself and making it clear how much she knows. So she's gonna spend the whole time pretending that she doesn't know anything about Nick Fuentes, even though you asked him to be on your program. She's gonna pretend she doesn't know anything about the alt-right, anything about anti-Semitism, anything about white supremacy, and then periodically she's gonna switch up when she forgets herself, or he says something that she can't resist commenting on, and then all of a sudden she gonna start letting the real thing come out. So I want you all to understand that going forward, she starts letting the real thing come out. And they're talking about Charlottesville, and she's acting like she doesn't know what happened there. She's not sure what occurred. Now, when it goes on here, he's talking to her about Israel and Palestine, and she goes on the ditzy blonde routine again. It's really kind of
Before he goes on onto his soapbox, into that tirade, which he's well within his rights to do. So shout out to the business for holding Just Pearly Things' feet to the fire. The fact of the matter is, you will not see this video on Just Pearly Things. It's been pulled. These sort of offensive commentaries that she wants the world never to see that again. Just to let you know, those comments have been pulled. That's been taken off of her Just Pearly Things platform, because Lord knows they don't want to see. She doesn't want to be known for those mistakes. But we have them here on Talk Live. Thank you to the business. Thank you, courtesy to the business for these comments, for his rather fantastic analytical process here, in which he breaks down, well, basically her true ignorance and sentiments on these certain topics we're talking about. Talk Live tonight.
Embarrassing, but she does it and then starts telling on herself.
Issue. And so they blacklisted me, they cut me off. Then they went out everywhere to Media Matters, which is this left-wing hit piece mill, and they started sending clips from my show and saying, this guy's a Nazi, do hit pieces on him, call my boss, try to get me fired. So
Tell me the Israel issue, because just for the average person isn't going to know what you're talking about.
sure.
And I sure don't, so.
Yeah, well,
Well, now did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
So she tells on herself there. Tell about the Israel issue because the average person isn't gonna know. And I certainly don't know. Now, for those of you who've been following this and been following me all this time, you recognize hardcore white supremacist strategy when you see it. You recognize hardcore white supremacist strategy when you see this. So she's barely being subtle anymore because she knows the points that she wants to make. So she's trying to tiptoe around it and tiptoe through it, but she keeps telling on herself.
that I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Thank you very much to the business for that. It's funny how the business, how just Pearly things knows about the Holocaust, but doesn't know about slavery, doesn't know about Charlottesville, doesn't know about any. Well, she knows about slavery, but you'll get her comments on that. But she doesn't know about Charlottesville or anything within the last 20 years. She knows something way before that, but she doesn't know about Charlottesville. And she's supposed to be an authority on black issues. Let's continue.
But then I started to...
And wait, just sorry to break it down a little. Israel versus Palestine, you're saying that there's like a war there going on?
Now, she doesn't know about the conflict between the Israelis and the Palestinians, and yet she's engaging in a conversation specifically asking about the Israelis and the Palestinians.
No, the business. She's just playing plain old dumb. She's playing stupid. She knows exactly who they are. She knows exactly what she did. She knows exactly what happened. And she knows exactly what she's doing. Or else she wouldn't ask the question in the first place.
It's insulting to people's intelligence.
Indeed.
She wants him to do all the heavy lifting so she can say, oh, I didn't say this. I mean, he was the one who said it. I didn't say this. Not me. Now, for those of you who may be thinking, well, Jason, this is about Jewish people in Israel and Palestine. What's that got to do with us? This is where dumb people here make their mistakes. This is where dumb people make their mistakes. The devil is in the details.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, she acts like she doesn't know what any of this is about. She has no clue what's going on.
A narrative that, because if I remember correctly at the time, the narrative was that Palestine was doing it. Is that untrue?
So she's talking about terrorism and terrorist acts. Fuentes is talking about the Jews starting it, the Zionist Jews starting the terrorist tactics first. And she sits there and acts like she doesn't know anything about that, remember? But then she starts saying, oh, well, if I remember correctly, I thought you didn't know anything. I thought you didn't know anything at all.
Agitating the Muslim. They actually were terrorists there. A lot of people don't know this. Everybody says Muslims are the terrorists. But it was really the Jews that kind of invented that in the Middle East. Against the British, against the Americans, against the Muslims. They did bus bombings. They bombed civilian infrastructure, military infrastructure.
The Jews did.
Mhm.
Okay.
The
Okay.
Zionist settlers.
Why is the narrative that? Because if I remember correctly at the
We're
time,
gonna
the narrative that Palestine
speed
was
up
doing it.
this process just that little
They
bit.
do it now.
So let's just move on. Again, she doesn't know anything. Little do we know that she knows a whole lot about a whole lot. But we want to get to prime time. Now she's playing stupid. Now she's playing ignorant, and she doesn't know what's happening because I can't be called on things for what I say because I'm just learning. But she knows exactly what she's doing. She's telling on herself. Quite literally, thank you to the business for pointing that out. She is telling on herself because quite simply, she knows of what she speaks. She wouldn't invite Nick Fuentes unless she did some sort of background research into the topic she was talking about. Let that be clear. She knows. She is not silly. She does not have 1 million viewers simply because, oh, this just happened. No. This is cold. This is calculated. She knows what she's doing. She knows exactly what she's doing. This is not a silly lady. It's not a stupid lady. She knows what she speaks and about the content of what she speaks. But again, she's gonna tell herself. She talked about the Jews and she did her whole Jewish denial. But now she gets on to the black people. Now again, I do not want to diminish what happened to the Jews. That was all true. That was all well and true. And quite simply, that is something that needs to be dealt with on another show because we have a whole lot of topics here, and that's another serious topic that needs to be dealt with, quite simply. But we're here for this point right here. This is prime time. This is when she literally, as MTR says, fucks up. She literally thinks that she's hot as coals on a fireplace and thinks, you know what, I can do anything and everything I want because I got 1 million subscribers. So I'm just going to throw these nasty little views out. And, you know, she started with the Jews, but she's getting into African immigrants versus African immigrants versus Black Americans and slavery. Which goes directly against the people to whom she calls an audience and to the employees and staff that she has at Just Pearly Things, which is stunning to me, and to most of the guests she has on the show who happen to be black themselves. So let's go.
Thinks of African immigrants versus Black Americans, specifically descendants of slaves, foundationals. I wonder what she thinks of that if we get into the immigration discussion. I wonder what she's gonna say if you ask her about that. Brace yourselves, all of her supporters.
No. And that's not a conservative position, especially not 50 million people in 10 years.
Right.
Because America's got 300 million, so, you know, what is that? 1/6 of the population in 10 years?
And so why is that?
Why does he support that?
No, why are you against him pro? Because in my head, see, I hire people from Africa, right?
Right.
Shout out Blessing.
Yeah.
And I just see like the work ethic of people that are like not from America, and they often work harder than the people that are from America. So in my head, it's like, wouldn't it help us economically if we had more, like, if they had a certain like mindset?
Well, I told you were gonna get your hearts and your feelings and your souls broken. There's no way you can defend her now and sit up here and say you cool with it. She just outright told you, well, they work harder than people. Now you know she means black. I like my African immigrants. They work harder than people from America.
And that's a problem, people. When you set racial rivalries between Black Americans and Black Africans against the African diaspora, and you're being a white person, that's a bit problematic. That's a fight that you were never involved with in the first place, and for you to just come out and say that your African friends work harder than your Black American friends, that's downright nasty. That's downright nasty when you don't have a dog in the fight and you don't have a leg to stand on. That is, that's trying to start, intraracial war, and I find that distasteful in the highest regard. That's distasteful. That's a distasteful comment. That's just like, that's. It is borderline racist because it's black on black, but yeah, there's no place for a comment like that. There's none, and it is, yeah, very, very hurtful for her to say something like that. Quite simply.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna give you any place to hide. You know you're guilty. You know if you've been listening to her. You know if you've been big up in her. You know if you were saying Jason just a hater and sometimes some other folks tell the truth. Jason, you just don't trust these people like that. Yeah, where are they at now? Where are they going to be at now after tonight? Folks, we only 20 minutes in tonight. We are 50 miles off in the woods. We're only 20 minutes in. Let's hear it from the black winosphere. All these butt-kissing Negroes who were so desperate to get on her program and get patted on the head by her and wanted to make her in charge of the village.
Oh.
By the way, where you at now?
Oh.
Where you at now? No, Jason ain't...
Oh, Jason, the business is coming for a few hits tonight. He is coming for a few hits tonight, and he's has every right to. He literally exposed a woman for her racist views. Let's face facts. She may employ black people. She may be dating a black person. Doesn't mean that you can't have racist views. And clearly she does. Clearly she does. She will retract and say, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Oh, I'm so..." No. Come on. Come on. Come on. There's certain things you just don't do. And she did them. Because of her hubris. Let's go.
They cooking, Jason's roasting.
10 years.
And so why is that?
Why does he support that?
No, why are you against him or pro? Because in my head, see, I hire people from Africa,
Right.
Shout out Blessing.
Yeah.
And I just see like the work ethic of people that are like not from America, and they often work harder than the people that are from America. So in my head, it's like, wouldn't it help us economically if we had more, like, if they had a certain like mindset in order to come here?
There is a lot of truth to that, and I'll agree with you there. Particularly like Hispanics in America, very hard. The Africans too. I mean, because
Nigerian Americans I'm pretty sure they out earn white Americans.
They do. Their median income. This is old
with
statistics,
Indian,
but it's like $80,000 a year.
Yeah.
You know, Iranians. You know, all those immigrant groups. You know, they're very productive,
and it would make my job easier too. Like, because I'm thinking of me, you know, I'm a woman, a selfish perspective.
Yes.
Like, if immigration would be easier, it'd be easier to get some of my employees from England to the U.S.
Yeah, and you know, and there's economic arguments, and we could go.
I don't know. Oh, Pearly. I don't know. I don't know if any of your African American friends will take too kindly to those comments. That is downright. Because she rates Africans over African Americans. If that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. But at the end of the day, it is a diss against Africa. It is a racist comment against African Americans. Let's face facts. African Americans who, you know, basically build the country she lives in. Let's call a spade a spade. So for her to call them lazy now, in a sort of slight diss sort of way, yeah, that's uncalled for, Pearly. Definitely uncalled for. Way out of bounds. Way out of bounds.
Go there for a minute.
Those are the Negroes that she likes. She likes black servants. She can't even be coy about it in the presence of another white person. She starts letting the real thing come out. She starts getting very, very honest and open about it. Damn, Jason's hurting your damn feelings. What happened to her pretending to be so dumb? Remember at the beginning, she was talking like she was so dumb. Remember? She was talking like she didn't know anything. She was talking like she's so stupid. I don't know anything about these subjects y'all is talking about. I don't know anything about that. Can you explain it to me, Mr. Fuentes? Because I don't know anything about it. Ooh, I just didn't know. Yes.
Again, anybody just Pearly thinks invites onto her show, she knows about their subjects. There's no way her staff will let her go. Her African staff, will let her go into an interview without doing some background research on their subject. She's only playing innocent for the camera. She's only playing innocent in order to garner sympathy from her audience. But she knows exactly what she's doing. And it's sort of a surreptitious slam of all things African American here. She does it. And shout out to the business. It's quite simply it needs to be called out. Absolutely. And shout out to the business because he's the one who got her taking her site down. He's the one who basically called people's attention to Just Pearly Things mass skullduggery on this, and and he's to be commended for his investigational work. Let's continue.
She's always pretending she's stupid. She's not stupid. She just pretends to be stupid until you ask the right question. Then she becomes a full-blown Fox News host. How many of you clowns were sitting up here subscribed to her page? I'll do a check right now to see how many of you listen to me right now are subscribed to her page so we can go ahead and out you. Because you've been sitting up here big up this the whole damn time. Did not check the paperwork ever. Didn't check the paperwork ever. I've been calling the warning, ringing the warning bell now for over a year, for the last couple of years. And it was just me with folks talking about I'm hating. You damn right I'm hating on this. I wonder if it could get worse. Yeah, it can get worse. Jason, let us breathe. Nah, for the boot-licking coons who are supporting this all this time, no, you don't get to breathe.
It's more than it is now. Just strictly looking at the same numbers. And a big part of that is because there are just simply more workers.
Isn't one way they inflate that, though? Because I remember Sowell talking about this, and he said the problem is they increase the cost of, in the stats, they'll increase the cost of living, even though, 50 years ago, someone on, lower income wouldn't have air conditioning or a TV, but now...
Oh, so now she's quoting Thomas Sowell.
Oh.
Everyone's favorite boot-licking Negro economist. Now she's quoting Thomas Sowell.
Okay, well, now again, this is where my views conflate because Thomas Sowell, yes, he may have views that may conflict with many African Americans, many of them from the African diaspora, but he has some things to say. He has certain things to say. And he has the right to say them. So again, there's a bit of a trade-off here, but clearly he doesn't appreciate Tom Sowell, but he's entitled to his opinion. Let's go.
There were a bunch of you who were off in your feelings because you were bastard babies who grew up under slutty mamas and deadbeat daddies. Oh yes, I'm saying it. And when I first started calling out, oh Kevin, when I said, by the way, this guy is quoting Thomas Sowell too. And then you had this clown from Atlanta. You got proof of that? Yeah, I didn't see proof of that right there. And then you never heard from that guy again when I played the clip. By the way, it's on my homepage here on YouTube on the business. Well, at least it's one of the videos there. When I said it then, it was controversial. Why is it that you weren't taking Kevin to task for it then? Some of you are just brainless and looking for a daddy on the internet as opposed to looking to become an adult in your own right. Well, when you allowed him to get away with that, guess what? You emboldened her. And she said, well, if they're going to let us just get away with it, why not just let it all hang out? No, she's not just an agent. The folks who've gone along with this and given her a pass all this time, they're agents too. Agents of destruction.
Okay, well, again, he's entitled to his opinion. The business is entitled to his opinion. I appreciate what he has to say. He may not see eye to eye on certain views, especially quoting Thomas Sowell and disagreeing with the Godfather KS. And you know what? He's entitled to do it. Let's face facts. I'm not exactly in agreement with him on those fronts, but he's entitled to his opinion. He is. And you know what? I will die for his right to say what he has to say. Simple as that. So, we don't see eye to eye on that one. Let's go.
Now, what I want to do here, because I'm not going to let those of you who've been kissing their ass all this time, I'm not going to let you breathe. Oh, you don't get to breathe. You've been supporting her all this time, and you know who you are. You've been supporting it, sharing it, liking it. Ooh, I agree with her. She's a knockoff of Jason and other things. But, you know, white mommy is here. If she says it, then it must be right. Oh, you don't get to breathe. Damn, Jason, how many clips you got to load and reload? Let me tell you, we can refight the Gulf War with what I got ready for you here. We're going to skip forward a little bit more because I want Fuentes to set up this next part. I want Nick Fuentes here to set up the next thing you're going to hear.
Specific kind of country. When you bring in people that are not white, number one, by the next century, America's going to be 10, 20% white. It's going to be a fundamentally different country because people are not.
And wouldn't that be a great day? I ain't going to hold back on that one. Wouldn't that be a great day? White, Let's just say the world needs to be a little more colorful. Let's just say the white hegemony across the world, well, that needs to change. You've had about 400 to 500 years, maybe up to 1,000. Well, I would say up to a good, at least 500 years. Do the maths on my head. Yes, at least 500 years of white supremacy. It's time for a change. So, am I upset at that fact? Hell no. Continue.
Not interchangeable. And it's not to say that we don't like them. It's not to say that they're inferior. It's not to say anything about them. But you can't take America that...
Keep that in mind now. Well, it's not to say that they're inferior or anything like that. Keep that in mind and watch what she says next in reaction.
It's 90% white in 1965, and it's going to be 80% non-white in 2100, and say that's the same place. You know?
So that's why they call you a white supremacist.
That is why they say that.
Because
yeah.
you feel like by changing the entire demographic makeup of a country, it's going to completely change the country. The same way, if in Poland they switched it out with Nigerians, it would be a completely different country.
Exactly, yeah. How do you feel? Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I mean, do you think that makes me a white supremacist to say that?
No, that kind of makes sense, like what you're saying.
Whoa! Do you now remember what I've always taught you all? If you want to know what black people think, let a white person ask. Well, you know what? If you want to know what a white woman thinks, let a white male ask. And you heard what he just said. Well, yeah. Do you think I'm a white supremacist? No, actually, I kind of understand why you're saying that, Mr. Alt-Right Charlottesville. Now,
there's nothing that can be said about that. This is where a lot of people say that just Pearly fucked up. She fucked up right there. When you co-sign a white supremacist racist views, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Especially for a staff, especially when you have a boyfriend. I swear that boyfriend should have gone on her ass, on her literal ass, that night after this interview. He should have took her to task. He should have left her, quite simply. But, again, maybe the coochie good. I don't know. But there's no place for a comment like that. You can see that she's led by her nose. You can see she's there for the clicks and the views and the comments, and that's no. If you have black people's interests at heart, you'd never say something like that. I'll show you a film later on in that show of what to do when given such subject matter. What to do when given such subject matter. No. She no. As the business was saying in this show, he has no right. No. You don't say something like that, especially if you have an audience that's predominantly African diaspora orientated. You don't say something like that. So, is her true colors showing? She is wearing spots, so, you know.
Understand, this next part here is rather crucial because once she starts going, she ain't gonna stop. All you just pearly things, sycophants and zombies. Oh, I'm turning all your sacred cows into hamburger today. You're not gonna like me for real after this program. You're not gonna like me for real because that little guilty feeling that was nagging you before is gonna be banging upside your head. Let me let the whole clip play for you. Now that you've heard him set it up, let me let the whole clip play for you now.
They call you a white supremacist.
That is why they say that.
Because
yeah.
you feel like by changing the entire demographic makeup of a country, it's going to completely change the country. The same way if in Poland they switched it out with Nigerians, it would be a completely different country.
Exactly, yeah. How do you feel? Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I mean, do you think that makes me a white supremacist to say that?
No, that kind of makes sense, like what you're saying. Personally, I'm trying to get my Africans in America, so we're not gonna support that. Look at please make it easy for me to immigrate next year.
Well, I will say, hey, they are more industrious than American blacks.
Get blessing in.
He can stay.
Oh, it's a big fat joke. When African Americans are the butt of it. See, she harbored, I think she harbored slightly racist. I mean, she loved her Michael Jordan. She loved her sports stars and movie stars and whatnot. But to be fair and frank, she did not like African Americans. If she can laugh about something like that, she clearly didn't like African Americans. She liked Africans, especially when she came to England and saw them as different set of peoples and wanted to immigrate more Africans so that they can work under her because they're more industrious, quote unquote, industrious. However, she doesn't like everybody who's black. She doesn't like everybody who's black at all. Clearly, she does not have an affinity to African Americans. A chosen few, the movie stars. Let's assume the movie stars. And I don't want to assume, but let's say the movie stars and the sports stars and that sort of thing, and those in athletics, the successful blacks. But in terms of the run-of-the-mill average blacks, she has no liking for them. She does not like them. She has already put that out there. She does not like the rank and file African American person. And she may cloud this under their non-work ethic, but it's still racist views, guys. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you cut it. And for her to be shucking and grinning with a known white supremacist is extremely distasteful. It's extremely distasteful. Now, again, I'm going to hear both sides of the story here. Let that be said, but that don't come out the wash too well. The stains are still there. The die has certainly been cast, and doesn't make for good viewing. Doesn't make for comfortable viewing. And it shows one's true colors. Let's continue.
Did you hear that? Well, they are more industrious than American blacks. Yeah, all you just butt-kissing pearly things. Yeah, you heard that now, didn't you? Well, they are more industrious than American blacks. I want to get my Africans. I want to get my Africans over here to America. They're talking about your silly asses like you're a purse or a pair of shoes. And don't worry, there's plenty of them over there who are sitting up there laughing. They're in the studio, by the way. They're in the studio with her now, laughing and chuckling up a damn storm while Massa is sitting up here going crazy talking about you. Oh, I'm going to spin it again because I know you don't want to hear it.
Huh.
In Poland, they switched it out with Nigerians, it would be a completely different country.
Exactly, yeah. How do you feel. Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but I mean, do you think that makes me a white supremacist to say that?
No, that kind of makes sense, like what you're saying. Personally, I'm trying to get my Africans in America, so we're not gonna support that. like, please make it easy for me to immigrate next year.
Well, I will say, hey, there are more industrious
Get
than
blessing
American
in.
blacks.
Get blessing in.
He can stay.
Well, look at everyone.
That ain't cool. That is not cool. That ain't cool. When Just Pearly Things is literally laughing in the faces of African Americans, that ain't cool. That ain't cool. She's not talking about the good blacks. The good blacks she's okay with. The Michael Jordans and Alfonso Ribeiros of the world and the Denzel Washingtons of the world and the Futures of the world. They're okay. The basketball players and the ones who make money and those who are industrious, they're okay. But the rank and file, hardworking African American, she does not care for. And she may joke about it here, but you know that's what's happening in her heart. Because if she didn't, she would have shut down said conversations. Absolutely. And don't worry, we're gonna get to some more commentary on that in a bit. But we're just because you may not have seen this, you may not have heard this. And you're thinking, what the hell went on? We're running it back. Let's continue.
Are you still laughing? Because I never was.
No.
When folks were calling me a hater and they were trying to invite Becky to the barbecue, and they sat up here and let other people smuggle the language in, but being an internet fanboy or fangirl is just irresistible to some. Well, I warned you that this would be the result. And you were sitting up here trying to call me names. That all I can assume right now is that you are just thrilled to have your lips wrapped around her butt cheeks. Well, I'm not going to join you. So, yeah, I've been ringing the bell and sounding the alarm for years now. Other folks got caught with their drawers down. I've been saying this the entire time. Not this one. Not this chick in particular. Not her. She's dirty. The paperwork's dirty. Down the board. Folks were sitting up here trying to argue with me. Which just really tells you how many folks out here really do have this white butt kissing fetish. I said her by name. Well over a year ago, I said her by name. And I said she's going to end up leading y'all, and I'll be damned. I'm not done yet. Jason, let us breathe. Oh, you don't get to breathe. White mommy did this to you, not me. Jason, how many more clips you got? You don't want me to say that number out loud. Jason, you really did this deep of a dive. I damn sure did. I damn sure did. I did not bring...
Stop me there, Jason, from the business. Well done to you, sir. But again, we differ on the Kevin Samuels issue. Okay, we'll give you that. But because he's one of these African Americans that she's so insulting to. She's literally insulting him. So I understand. I totally understand. I totally where he's getting it from. I totally get it. I'd be offended too. If I were being, if a known racist and a white woman were insulting African Americans, I think there is a whole lot of skullduggery going on, and it ain't good. And it ain't good. And they have a target. They have an enemy. Number one are Jews. That was explained before. Number two are African Americans. Not Africans, but African Americans.
Receipts, I brought invoices. I'm telling all of you, not what you paid, but what you owe. You think you've heard
industrious.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people that would like to be a YouTuber because they'd like people.
Okay, now let me back up just a little bit more here because he's talking about people being hardworking. He's talking about people in general from various other places. I think he mentioned Germany. But I want you to get the full context.
Just stop it here for a second. That is one hell of an evil grin she got there. If you're watching me on YouTube, that is one hell of an evil grin she got there. She has mischief, ultimate mischief on her mind with that grin. That is one hell of an evil grin. You've got to check it on Talk Live. When I pause this thing right here, and I'm talking to you both on IG and YouTube, thanks very much for joining me. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment. We're going there. That is a hell of an evil grin. There is no sort of good that comes from that grin. None. None. Huh. Let's go.
She says it smacks you upside the back of the head like a cinder block.
I was like, stop now. They all said I was crazy. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Austin.
Well, but you're very industrious.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people that would like to be a YouTuber because they'd like people to care about their opinions and like what they ate for lunch and, you know, things about my life that just make sense or whatever. But how many people could make a company and deal with the things you deal with, you know, like recruiting and, you know, because I mean, not on the same scale as you, but I do things and it's tough. You know, it's a business. It's fun not in front of the camera, but behind the scenes, it's a business. And that is a German attribute, to be industrious. I'm Italian. The only times I'm on time for things is when I get the time wrong. When I think I'm supposed to be there way earlier than I'm actually supposed to be there. Because I thought I was supposed to be here at 3.
Okay, this is the point where Just Pearly Things was pulled up. This is where she truly fucked up. Because not only is she speaking about the African Americans, she's speaking about all Africans of all African diaspora. She is taking a big swipe. This is her home run swing. Before she just took out African Americans, this one she was taking out everybody. Let's listen in.
That's why I texted you. I texted you I'm on my way because I thought I was already 10 minutes late when I was leaving.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Blessing was more late African.
Well, he's black.
Yeah.
Where are all the folks who said I was a hater? Where are all the folks who were sitting up here saying, well, Jason, you reaching, you stretching? Where are all of them now? I want to know where all of them are after tonight.
For her to be cackling with a known racist is disheartening, disappointing, and insidious to say the least. This is downright nasty. This is where you get a view into her, her life. She's done this laugh before, believe me. With her white friends and in genteel company, and where there's no hope of recrimination, then she's had one of these laughs before. This is not new. And for her to go off like this, my people, if you're still subscribed to her and if you are African, yeah, I'd have a look at myself in the mirror. I really would. I really would. Because there's no doubt about that. That is downright racist and nasty. We've seen this look before. Black people seen it. We know when. This is the reason why Dave Chappelle left for Africa, because he saw all these laughs in his head. And he said, nah, I can't deal with my Chappelle show anymore. It's going a different direction. I don't like it. It's going about coonery. And she's taking this to that direction. She's taking it there. Thinking, I've got 1 million subscribers. I can do whatever I want. And this is what she's doing. She's doing this. For her staff not to leave that room, it would stun me. On that joke alone, I would have left. But her staff stayed. But I would have left. I couldn't. Listen. I would have quit. I would have left the job. No money is worth that. None. No money is worth that. No. But wait. Just a second. There'll be some to prove that, to go against that assertion. There'll be some who go against that. I ain't gonna say who it is, but I have them here, and they'll go against that assertion. And it's downright disgusting, and they look disgusting, and they're damn idiots, and we'll go there a little later. Let's go.
What's so damn funny? What's so damn funny now? Oh yeah, before this is over, I'm gonna name names. What's so damn funny now? You can't lie and say you didn't see this. Jason Black has been talking about this now for over a year, for about 2 years now. And I've been naming this chick in particular. I said it from day one. Hey, she doesn't need to be given any space around here. I said it the whole time. Where are the folks who are sitting up criticizing me now? Because you gonna have to justify this. And you're gonna have to justify why it is that Jason said it the whole time, and you were defending it the whole time, and you're just now saying something. By the way, yeah, you all thought she was gonna leave it alone. That wasn't Fuentes who brought up the black people this time. He talked about him being late, and then she brings up the black folk around her. You know, those cute little African pets that she has working for her. She's the one who brings them up. Not Fuentes. So you wanna know why I let that whole clip play with that whole segment like that, so you can get the whole context. Oh, let me go ahead and back it up. Jason, you know, I was a coon, a fool, but are you gonna really keep humiliating me? Oh, you damn right I am.
When I was leaving.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Blessing was more late African.
Well, he's black.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a hard time. I don't mean
No, he's really offended.
Is he? Because he didn't leave.
What did I just say? What did I just say? If I were Blessing and in that room, I would have left. From the time they were calling me late, from the time they were calling me out like that, and I know it was taking a racial tone and a racial slant, I would have left. I would have left. She didn't be laughing in my face like that. No money's worth that. When you have a woman with racial sensibilities like she does, and she sees things like this as a joke, no. That's where we draw the line. That's where if you have Africans as your main staff, Africans as your main guests on your show, we got to move on. She has to come back groveling to me for that shit. No. That is unapologetically racist, that comment. And she laughed in his face because of it. Looking, as you can see by her eyes, for his approval. We'll be back in a second on Talk Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. We are back on IG and YouTube. Thank you for joining me. We are live on Talk Talk Live on IG and YouTube. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend. We are on to the road to 1,000 subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. We're talking about the Just Pearly Things controversy, and we're actually going in on her comments. we're going in on those comments. So we just had her comment on, make fun of Blessing and his lateness and such, and and she's seeking his approval, and quite simply, it's down. Well, it's racist. Let's call a spade a spade. It's downright racist. It's downright racist. Let's continue.
It's because he's black. Folks, this isn't 2 years ago. This is 2 weeks ago. Let me say this again. This video isn't from 2 years ago or 2 months ago. This is from 2 weeks ago. What in the hell have all of you people who've been showing up on her channel, what the hell were you all thinking? Oh, I'm showing you. What the hell were you thinking? Did you do any paperwork check? Or does it even matter to you? Because judging by some of these hairlines and some of these attitudes, I don't know. But by the way, if I was aware of this from day one, how in the hell is it that I was aware this was happening? And I was aware of this weeks ago, and you didn't check the pedigree, you didn't check the technique, you didn't check the paperwork? Jason knew about it. Don't worry, I'm going to get to naming names in a moment. Jason, you showing faces, you going sideways. Oh, no. I'm going to name names before it's over. I just want to make sure that we saute the chickens before they come home to get roasted. Y'all got a lot of damn explaining to do. You got a lot of explaining to do why white mommy don't bother you. So these kind of things don't bother you. You still gonna say Jason is reaching? How many of you are so brain dead and cooning that you're still gonna give?
Okay, let's move it on just a little bit because we're gonna get now into the comments about slavery. Here we go.
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want.
This is where she really gets down. And we'll explain her views later, but she is a slavery denier. She doesn't think slavery was that bad. She thinks that Africans who took part in slavery were okay with it. And what was said about slavery is damn near exaggerated. Yes, just Pearly Things just said that. Let's go back again, because you may not have caught that, but she just did say that. Let's go.
Because if you thought you heard the worst, no, you ain't heard the worst yet. All of her supporters, I'm going to let this play here so that this goes in context, so nobody can say I took it out of its context. Tell me, how do you explain away this?
Yeah. America being one. That was when more immigration happened and the culture, we sort of lost the culture.
Yeah, because the lesson of World War II, based on the horrors of the Holocaust, is like, this is what happens when nationalism goes awry. This is what happens when nationalism goes too far.
But your argument was the Holocaust was not special and all countries have done that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so you're saying, why is the Holocaust special?
Yeah, basically.
Oh. What do you mean, basically?
Well, yeah, I mean, because of course, we're getting into the details of it, but yeah, that's the gist.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of deny it happened.
Yeah, I deny some of the parts of it.
You deny parts of it don't seem realistic to you. You think they were embellished upon.
I think they're embellished, yeah.
The same way. This sounds. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be in trouble. This sounds similar.
And remember, she's bringing up the subject. I'm stopping it here for a reason. She brought up the slavery topic. Nick Fuentes, he's not exonerate this in the slightest. He brings up the Holocaust, and he's saying that the Holocaust happened everywhere, so, 6 million people died everywhere, so, it's no big deal. That's one side. The next side is the slavery issue where 25 million plus died. I would say much more than that. But again, it's estimated 25 million, but there's more than that. There's definitely more than that. But Just Pearly Things has her take on things, right?
Slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they wanted.
She thought slavery was embellished. You heard it. She thought slavery was embellished. And that it was an act of fiction, Alex Haley's story, even though he said himself that it was based in fact. As you can see, her eyes are cast in the sky because she's trying to think of what other lies to help compound her and to solidify her story. That is downright disrespectful. That is downright nasty for her to go there. But she did. Because she thought she had the wool over all of our eyes so she could say what the hell she wants. And shout out to Jason from the business for calling her out on it. Because it is downright objectionable, to say the least. To say the least.
More horrible so that they can control people.
Go ahead.
Now, though, that's her in her own words. 2 weeks ago, not 2 months ago, 2 weeks ago. So for those of you at the beginning talking about, well, Jason, what's Israel and Palestine got to do with this? Because they start warming up with that one, with the white people who are not considered to be white enough because they remind them of niggas. So you'll listen for them to start giving you the warm-up act, and then eventually, you know, when they get warmed up, they're going to come to us, and they're going to be stomping. So how do you explain away that one? So you're just going to have to tell us that you agree with that, right? Because that's what you're going to have to say. If you condone her or condone her in your presence, you're going to have to say that you agree with that. That you agree that she's just got a difference of opinion about slavery, that slavery was exaggerated. Those are not Jason Black's words, those are hers. So many members of the Black winosphere cooning their way through life, they got a whole lot of explaining to do now, don't they? Or then again, maybe they don't, because you got to understand, when you are accustomed to kissing white ass, you will just explain away anything and see how many other folks go along with you. But after tonight, you will not be able to claim that you didn't see it and you didn't know it. Oh, you do now. You certainly do now. Let me go ahead, Jason. I'm going to back it up because I know it's going to hurt you. I'm going to back it up.
Immigration is a big part of globalization. You have all these people, because this has been going on in Europe since the 50s and 60s, actually.
Oh, so you're saying that was the end of Europe being one way,
yeah,
and America being one. That was when more immigration happened, and the culture, we sort of lost the culture.
Yeah, because the lesson of World War II, based on the horrors of the...
Notice that she said we lost the culture. I just want you to note that. Notice when she says we lost the culture. Too many mistakes, Pearly. Too many mistakes.
Holocaust is like, this is what happens when nationalism goes awry. This is what happens when nationalism goes
But
too
your
far.
argument was the Holocaust was not special, and all countries have done that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so you're saying, why is the Holocaust special?
Yeah, basically.
Oh. What do you mean, basically?
Well, yeah, I mean, because of course, you know, we're getting into the details of it, but yeah, that's That's the gist.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of deny it happened.
I deny some of the parts of
You
it.
deny parts of it don't seem realistic to you. You
Right.
think they were embellished upon.
I think they're embellished, yeah.
The same way. This sounds. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna
You're
be
gonna
in
get
trouble.
yourself
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible, so that they can control people.
You notice she kept saying it. They want to make it more horrible. You know, about it. I want to talk about it. The word is slavery. So she's fully aware of what she's doing. She called herself, I know they're going to get me for this, but you see, she's been sitting on this so long, sitting around your ignorant boot-licking asses, while you've been sitting here showing her and reinforcing to her every negative stereotype and belief she had. Because she's like, they can't even see the snake that I am. They're so desperate to get next to me that they're willing to accept this serpent that is so obviously sitting in front of them. So she just can't sit on it anymore. She's been in your presence of your deficient brain dead asses so long, she can't even pretend that she likes you anymore. At some point, I told y'all, like Laura Schlesinger and the others, when people said, Jason, why is it that Dr. Laura Schlesinger, with all that millions of dollars and the pull that she had and the contracts and everything else, why did she sit up here and have to demand and say, nigga, nigga, nigga? Because that's what she really wanted to say. And she spent so many years being denied it. And being white is supposed to be, as Malcolm X said, white is supposed to mean free. It means I do what I want. And if I cannot call you nigga to your face, if I cannot deny slavery, if I cannot brutalize you and deny your humanity, then obviously I'm not in charge, you are. So if I cannot deny your humanity, violate your rights, desecrate your ancestors, then I'm not in charge.
Wow. I have. You couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better myself. And that's what she's doing. No matter what you say about Pearly, no matter how many people say, "Oh, she's minimized. She's doing this." No. She knows exactly. These are cold, calculated moves, and she knows exactly what she's doing. She's trying to minimize. When she said Alex Haley's tale about slavery in the book Roots was a myth for her people to live by, unsubscribe. Unsubscribe, because not only has she said it here, but hopefully, by the grace of God, I have it as well. She said it at other places where she has chosen to literally minimize "400 years of history." Minimize it. Saying that it was nothing. To anyone of any African diaspora significance, that should absolutely piss you off. That should absolutely disavow yourself from this woman. But she's got a few tricks on her sleeve, and a lot of people are falling for it. A lot of people are falling for it. There are a few okie dokes I want to bring to your attention. One in particular, who looks like an okie doke. Let's go.
Somebody tell me right now. Hey, mediocre tutorials. Hey, Melanie King. Hey, lead attorney. How many of y'all who were so desperate to get her approval, so desperate to get next to white mommy, that you willingly sold out your soul character you may have had left in order to get a pat on the head from her in the desperate hopes of appearing next to a white host, even though they are openly mocking black people, and you hoping it's going.
Here's the thing. Jason has every right to call out these hosts. Yes. Yes. But, however, I'll say this. It is up to these people who have associated, and this is where we see who the real are. The real being those who are associated and have worked with just Pearly things. We'll see who the real people are now. One in particular has come out, and I'm going to play that before tonight's conclusion. One has come out. One has been accountable. One has made himself known. One has made himself known. The others have yet to come out yet. Have yet to come out. My apologies for that misuse of the English language. But yes, one has done that, and many haven't. But he has a right to call them out. He has a right to hold their feet to the fire because, hey, now that you know who she really is, now you have to turn around and say to yourself, hey, what's my next move?
Don't get you just a few more subscribers so you won't have to go back to Five Guys and get a real job. Come on down here and explain this now. Come on down here and explain this. All you clowns in the black winosphere, all of y'all over there, I'm not going to say some of your names. Nigga, you ain't going to eat off of me. Make your clickbait for something else. You ain't gonna eat off. I ain't beefing with you. You ain't gonna eat off of me. But y'all already know the damn names. You know who they are. Why don't you tell them, hey, y'all got some explaining to do. Jason brought invoices.
And he's absolutely right. People like Ani Jenny, people like Sarah Garvey, people like King Riches have to account for her views and behavior because you work with people. You work with these people. You work with these people. So it's up to you to hold yourself accountable. It's up for these people to hold themselves accountable. One, I am completely upset at. I'm not going to say who it is yet, but they're coming. But a few of these people, like Sarah Garvey, like Auntie Jenny, like a few others on this show, have yet to come out and show their true colors and let us know what they're going to do next. But I'll tell you something. There's a word called sellout. And one in particular has completely sold out. To right, Kanonen. Stand for something or fall for anything. You're absolutely correct. It's time for these Africans, it's time for these African Americans to show their true colors. One did. Another one,
Jason brought invoices. You should have known something was wrong here when you see a white chick. She sits up here and she has thumbnail images showing white people, but when you look at the show, it's got black people. Every damn time you turn around, a white woman sitting up here, your thumbnail images got white people, but then your damn shows were filled with black folk on it. Thumbnail images of white folk and black folk everywhere. You done built a whole damn channel off of black people sitting around, talking to black folk, holding court. so she can make some low rent money on the Chitlin circuit. And then after she's built herself up, we'll show some white folk, but when you click on this all black people, after she done built herself up, now she gets to come get with the alt-right so she can say, you know what, I've been sitting on this for all of these years trying to get my money straight. Now that the money is right, I'm going to let you know exactly what I think of you.
And he's right. Jason from the business, he's right. He's right. He's built her platform off black people. Just like Elvis built his King of Rock and Roll career off black music. Same thing here, same playbook. Elvis used R&B. Just Pearly Thing used just Kevin Samuels. And here she is. After a year, just like that, 1 million subscribers. But a rose is still a rose, no matter the name. And one was going to show her true colors in due course. And here they came. She invited Nick Fuentes, a known white supremacist, on the show. She extolled her views on slavery for all of us to see. Should we be surprised? Listen, the wool was pulled over my eyes. I was going to do a few shows on her. She was on her way to something, but I knew deep down there was something a little sinister around here. Something a little suspect. And lo and behold, in one fell swoop, all came to pass.
No, not surprisingly, she didn't just go to something that was just a little questionable. She went full-blown alt-right. She went full-blown Richard Spencer. She didn't just start doing that a couple of days ago. She been like that. Toxic masculinity shows a white woman's face on the thumbnail, toxic masculinity, but when you click on it, it's black men. Who are the clowns and idiots who didn't recognize this years ago when they saw it? Well, apparently right here. Apparently right there. Now, I've been having folks tell me for years that wasn't what it was. They were claiming up and down for years that wasn't what it was. It wasn't really like that. Oh, Jason's just hating. Yeah, because I want to be on Pearly things. Yeah, because Jason's just hating. Yeah, because you got some super secret understanding of reality that Jason doesn't have, right? Allegedly. Some super secret, super duper understanding of reality that he just doesn't have. Some of y'all need to recognize here when you see this kind of stuff, there's a whole bunch of folks out here who are just desperate to get on and desperate to be on. That they don't care if they're sitting next to full-blown white supremacists, can they get an extra 30 views? Now,
and that's right. Let's face facts. In this society that craves attention and adulation and views, some people will sit with anybody. It's true. He's absolutely right. We didn't know it then, but we'll know soon enough who this idea caters to. Who this idea caters to. Now let's, you know what? I think we're done here. Thank you very much to Jason from the business for extolling those ideas. We're gonna go. You thought I wasn't ready. Oh yeah, I'm ready. To this wonderful character named King Riches. Now, King Riches works for Just Pearly Things. Now, what King Riches is a lead block. If anybody doesn't know what a lead block is, he's the one who runs and takes the hits for the star running back. He's like a fullback in matter of a matter of word. Now he has a business relationship with Just Pearly Things. They appear on the same channel. Just Pearly Things has a channel of commentators, which includes King Riches, includes Sarah Garvey, includes Aunt Jenny. All black, mind you. All of them black. Now, they all tend to be African themselves. Now, again, the backroom staff is well African as well. And we've already discussed how Just Pearly Things plays Africans against African Americans. She loves Africans, doesn't like African Americans, run-of-the-mill African Americans. Average African Americans, the unsuccessful African Americans. Attention addiction is the new mental health disorder. Absolutely right. And this man needs mental help. Thank you very much for that comment, King Onan. This man needs mental help. His name is King Riches. And what he has to say for himself is absolutely disgusting. But hey, let me say this first off. House Negroes come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. This is a house Negro right here. I'll say that straight out. It's a house Negro. King Riches is a house Negro. And for what he has to say, clearly someone's paying him to say it, and that is Just Pearly Things. But let's get into it.
Riches back again with another reaction video, yeah. Big up to the old subscribers, new subscribers, big up to everyone.
Moving on, move. I don't hear.
This video, and I haven't even put the headphones on, yeah. That's how crazy.
Don't care. Moving on.
Comes across as insensitive.
Yeah, let's get into it.
A video by mediocre tutorial.
I don't want to go there.
I think that he has some very just bad things to say. Yeah, I'm not in his camp at all. I do not agree with anything he has to say. I don't agree with any of his ideologies. Right? I just want to say that from the outset. And even he just said, well, I am kind of racist, and that says it all. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna say from the start. But let's continue with the reaction. Make sure you're hitting the like button, all of you. Make sure you're hitting the like button and leaving comments and super chats and all that good stuff. Let's go.
I'm not going to beat around the bush for this conversation. I'm going to get straight to the point. Pearl, you f***ed up. You knowingly invited a white...
You know what? Let's stop it there for a second. Because he's reacting to what he should have said. So let's go there. Mediocre tutorial and reviews works with Just Pearly Things. My apologies for the miscommunication and the mix-up. But we're going to go there. And then we're going to go back to King Riches, saying what I've already said. Just Pearly Things works with mediocre tutorial reviews. A very, very well-known guy on YouTube. Shout out to Just Pearly Things. Shout out to Just Pearly Things. Duh. No, I will not shout out Just Pearly Things. I think she's a goddamn, we've seen her true colors anyway. Shout out to mediocre tutorial reviews. He's the one of the first of those to react to these comments by Just Pearly Things. And in my estimation, he did the right thing. He held this woman to account. Held it to account. For what she did and what she said. And he did the responsible thing. Absolutely. Let's go.
You know, I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't.
I don't think you caught that first part. Let's go back.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yeah.
To set this scene up quickly, Just Pearly Things was doing another interview with, or some sort of reaction video for, with Nick Fuentes. She has a whole lot of content with this man. It's not just one show she did with him. She did a few of them. So you know what she was doing. She didn't just have one show. She had a few shows. A few blocks with this man. This is a known white supremacist. A known right-wing commentator. A known Trump supporter. A known white nationalist. He has come out and said it. And he'll say it again here. And watch for Pearly's salutation to this gentleman. Let's go.
You know, I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit
Yeah.
racist.
I wish you luck, and you know, I don't.
Wow.
I really don't. I don't.
Did you hear her say that? She just said he wishes him luck. She said, go be as racist as you can. I wish you luck in your racism. I wish you luck in your nationalism. I wish you luck in your white supremacy. This woman right here is the only one with a backbone and with temerity to call him out on his absolute shit. When the woman who's hosting the show is bowing to him at every beck and call. It's ridiculous. Let's go. Shout out to her. I forget her name, but hey, she does way more than Just Pearly Things did in about, I would say, 5 to 10 hours of content. Let's go.
Don't wish luck to racists.
Oh, I'm not racist.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Nick.
Yeah, I am a little bit racist.
And the Italians, we do not claim you.
Oh, hey, the Italians don't claim you. You're the one dating a black guy.
I'm not gonna beat around the bush for this conversation, and I'm gonna get straight to the point. Pearl, you f***ed up. You knowingly.
She fucked up. She up. It took Media Rosatory Reviews and that Italian lady to call it out to her. After she said, oh, I wish you luck on your future endeavors. Go ahead.
Invited a white supremacist and a self-proclaimed racist onto a platform which is primarily supported by, at least initially, and produced by black people. This comes across as insensitive to downright nasty. And I want to be clear, it's not just inviting said person to the conversation that's upsetting, because conversations with people who don't agree with each other or don't agree with a particular position, if done in a healthy way, can promote civil discourse. But your up was to not only not defend the people who helped create the content on your platform, but to also push a narrative that is insensitive and damaging to those very same people. Pearl, you know.
Basically, no pushback was offered by Pearl. Basically, she agreed with him on a few subjects, Actually, she entered some subject matter into his racist views. She helped him out. And you saw that on Talk Talk Live earlier on tonight. She helped him out. This woman who speaks on black topics, who's considered herself a part of the black manosphere, who has black staff, who she wants to immigrate to the United States because she cannot stand African Americans. At least the rank and file ones. By all accounts, intents, and purposes. She's done it. She never offered any pushback. Never offered any disagreeing views. She actually agreed with him on a few subjects. She actually laughed with him on a few subjects. You saw it here on Talk Talk Live. That is why I am unapologetic. I am happy that people are holding this woman's feet to the fire because quite simply, she's taken us all for fools. Literal fools.
Know that your staff is mostly black people, and I'm talking about from a production perspective as well as a talent perspective. You also know that the majority of your content utilizes black people talking about black relationship issues. You could have had black people sitting in the same room with this person in order to combat some of the hellacious things that was coming out of his mouth, or to have a different perspective that would have lent itself well to demonstrate the respect for the people that watch your content and that you employ. I don't think that your platform would be as big as what it is today if it wasn't for the essential utilization of black people, black relationship topics, and black talent. And the talent came from all over. When you include the likes of an Andrew Tate, all the way down to a Brittany Renner. And
That's right. Andrew Tate, if you did not know, is half black, half English. Half white English, sorry. Sorry, but he is. Brittany Renner, another African American. Yeah. Most of the talent she brought on that show, most of the talent that where she garnered her ratings were African American, including mediocre tutorial and reviews. Yep. All day long. And she brought on Nick Fuentes and slaps African Americans, the one she hates so much, in the face.
even from a content creator perspective, from me to a Melanie King to a Sarah Garvey to a King Riches to an Auntie Jenny. So for those just unaware of what's been going on, Pearl has recently come under fire for these particular comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America. My Africans. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna be in
Get
trouble.
yourself
This
canceled.
sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible. It was.
Right.
But they want.
Did you see that knowing head nod? You have to be here on Talk Talk Live. You have to be on here on YouTube. If you saw the knowing head nod from Nick Fuentes, a known racist, saying, yeah, it is a myth. Yeah. What's that about slavery? Yeah, it was never as rough as it was. It was a communal economic exercise. What? Oh yeah, she's agreeing with him. She's agreeing with the minimalization of 25 plus million people killed in the act of free labor to build a nation. Hell, let alone a continent, let alone 2, 3 continents. Oh, it wasn't that bad.
Want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Now what's crazy is that I came across these comments while I was live streaming a couple of days ago, and what started out as a laughy, jokey live stream where I wanted to talk about my time up in London quickly diverted to one of the worst live streams that I've ever had in my life. And honestly, it was a trip to hell as I discovered the magnitude of the conversation that she had with this figure by the name of Nick Fuentes, specific to the comments regarding slavery being embellished. I said this on the stream, and I maintain it today, that Pearl needs to be held responsible for this comment. Likening a quote from the writer of Roots explaining a myth for his people to hold on to does not negate the documented history of the atrocities that happened to black people. And I'd argue that Roots was a light depiction of the savagery that my forefathers had to go through to ensure that I would be here today.
And 25 million people is a light estimation of how many people actually died in the transatlantic slave trade. Millions unwritten. That's why I get really gassed up when I hear said rhetoric out of people's mouths, because and the minimization of what was considered the greatest atrocity, the greatest crime against manhood in human history.
And a little bit further, how thoroughly that this actually is, because for me it comes down to a question of ethics. You're interviewing a known Nazi sympathizer and an anti-black creator and not offering any pushbacks whatsoever. And in fact, you're adding in your own fake news regarding the embellishment or the exaggeration of slavery. Additionally, there were times within the conversation where it's laughy, it's jokey, it's kikiing, especially when you got specific in certain comments that reflected on CP time. And let me also say this, is that generally CP time is something that's laughed amongst people of melanation, but it's not taken as a joke when you're doing it with a person who is a self-proclaimed racist. Now that I've had the opportunity to digest all of the information, now that I'm not on live stream with thousands of people looking at me, in the back of my mind thinking towards the tens of thousands that are waiting for the perfect reaction from me, I begin to question why you didn't sympathize with the plight of African Americans or black people in general. And not once in the interview did you have at least one pro-black stance or some form of ethical defense or cultural sensitivity for the people who carry your production machine forward, or the people that you know that watch your channel.
Because of the fact she is herself considered... She thinks of herself as a slave owner. Let me say that. Yeah, I'm going there. She thinks of herself as being a slave owner. She's got black staff. She's got black people working for her. Yes, she has to pay them because, quite simply, slavery is over. But she thought she's, that white woman who would, use labor to make her rich. Who would take black subject matter, African diaspora subject matter, and make money off of it. Therefore, she saw her staff as indentured slaves to whom she could do whatever she pleases. And to the former question of why she chose to insult African Americans, because she didn't like them. She doesn't like them. She doesn't like... Mito Tutorial Reviews. Let me answer that question for you. She does not like you. She likes you in particular because you have made a success for yourself, but for the rank and file, she doesn't care about them. She came from money. So she totally disregards those without money. It's as simple as that. She likes hardworking, industrious people, yes, but if she sees any sort of flaw in them, like she saw with African Americans most of her life because she never socialized with them in the first place, guess what? She harbors resent against them.
Questionable at the very least, and it shows to me a degree of misguided that you are regarding our culture, and that you have some introspection to do, and you have to find a newfound respect for understanding more about the people that work for you, or who a component of the content is made for. The embellishment of slavery is where you display the true level of your insensitivity and lack of understanding about the culture that you have immersed yourself in, whether you like it or not. Pearl, at the end of the day, you f***ed up. I completely, as I said on that stream, denounce your statements. And I believe that you need to be held completely accountable for your words and your actions. And I want you to
something that some people have yet to do, and I commend wholeheartedly mediocre tutorial reviews for this commentary. This was needed. Someone from the camp from which she worked to hold this woman's feet to the fire because she thought the sun didn't rise until she woke up. She came from privilege. She's privileged to have successes that she does have. So she'll throw out flippant reviews and flippant statements because Christ thinks she thinks she's better than anybody else. That's the true source of racism, isn't it? When you think you are superior to someone else. When you think you are superior to someone else, that's a racist take, and that's exactly what she did on that show.
For the sake of my history, for the sake of my community, for the sake of my audience, and the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me, Pearl, the people that found you through my channel because of these actions. And Pearl, we had a one-on-one conversation before I recorded this video, and I told you can no longer work with you. We had a dating show that was in the pipeline, and I was super excited about releasing this content on your platform and then cutting it up and putting it up on my platform and reacting to it. We did great content up there. But along with these statements that have come up, I no longer feel comfortable in having that dating show footage released along with the other content that was recorded up there onto your platform. I plan in the future not to release more content up onto the channel regarding my time in London. And to be honest, frankly, it really sucks because I had a lot that I wanted to be able to speak about. And again, to my community.
Before you even say that, sir, I commend you. Let me get up. And let me give you a standing ovation, sir. Let me give you a standing ovation. Because you had the temerity and the backbone. Because this man does not need just pearly things. So he can tell it like it is. I'm going to show you someone who needs pearly things and the ultimate reaction to it. And it is shameless in the least. But to you, sir, well done. To all of us within the African diaspora, well done. Well done. You are speaking for us all when you say, I admonish myself, I disavow myself from your racist rhetoric. Because that's what it was. It was racist rhetoric. Let's call a spade a spade. No matter if you're a conservative or whatnot. Some people are totally oblivious to it, but that's what it was. Call a spade a spade. When you talk about slavery the way you do, when you talk about Africans over African Americans the way you do, when you say slavery, when you say Alex Haley's story was a myth to which my people could hold on to, that's racist. That's racist. And that needs to be called out. And you need to disavow yourself from said topics, quite simply. Anybody with a backbone on that TV show who doesn't need a check needs to leave her as well. And a full apology must be issued by Just Pearly Things, to which we have yet to hear. Thank you very much for the nice shirt comment. As I'm on my soapbox, thank you so much. This is Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Spring, summer line out now, which includes this hoodie. It's actually a hoodie. And I'm in my hoodie bag right now, so I'm going to leave the hoodie on. I'm going to leave the hoodie on. Let's go.
To my audience, to the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me into the future, I have to take personal accountability for my working relationship with Pearl, and trust me when I say I take full ownership and full accountability. I had absolutely no idea of the comments that were made in the Nick Fuentes interview, and had I known this prior to, I would not have gone to London. I did not know about this until I came back, and then I went and did a live stream, and then my supporters let me know. For everyone else out there who's ever supported the platform and sent super chats, and for everyone who has been affected by this situation, like I said, I take full accountability. For those of you guys that have followed my platform for a long time, do understand that I've selected, at least I thought I've selected, with a fine-tooth comb who I have chosen to work with. If you guys already know, it hasn't been a lot of people, okay? I've also have a no beef policy on my platform because I think it does us no good to continue to promote fights and spats. I'm all about delivering value at the end of the day. But as a man in this space, I got to take full ownership and full accountability. And along with my accountability, this is now my definitive stance. I can no longer support or associate myself with the Just Pearly Things platform. And for those who still wish to continue to support voices of women that are down into the space who agree with the particular message that
Just before he does that, again, standing ovation for my man, Media Tutorial Reviews. This man is concerned about his community, loves his community, and then doesn't need Just Pearly's dollar. Doesn't need Just Pearly's pound to get through the day. He is not a sellout. He is accountable. He is accountable. But I'm going to show you who's not accountable. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But let's finish this. Yes. Please, I'm sorry. Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. I'm so sorry. Please, tell us who we should be listening and watching these days going forward. And not this okey-doke liar.
put up on Jump Street. I want you guys to go check out and follow the following female content creators. All right, I got a list of their names right here. Don't want to forget anybody. Chantel Simone, The Crimson Cure,
Yes.
Danica Marie,
Yes.
Six the Goddess,
Yes.
Melanie King,
Yes.
and of course, Shahrazad Ali. Questions, comments, concerns?
Stopping it right there, people. He has done his work. He has done his duty. He has absolved himself from the stench that is Just Pearly Things. Well done to you, Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. I have a newfound respect for you. That's what you call accountability. That's called standing on your square and letting people know that you are one to be counted and not discounted. But I'm going to show you who's somebody who's not discounted, and then we're going to close off for part one. It is part one. There will be a part two tomorrow, and I thought it would be this because the real cooking hasn't started just yet. See, it's yet to be cooked. We have witnessed absolution in the form of Mediocre Tutorial Reviews. What we're about to review right now before we hand off part one is the coonery, tomfoolery, / Uncle Tom, that is. Wait for him. He's coming. King Riches. Now, King Riches here, we had dropped him in a bit earlier, but King Riches depends on Just Pearly Things dollar. Depends on it. Needs it, loves it, and is willing to die for it. What's the old saying? Let me get that old saying. This old saying on, is it slavery? No. On House Negroes, yes. Saying House Negroes. Yes. Let's just house slaves and such. Let me just say house slave Negroes. Yes, indeed. Now, let me see the images here. It's an old saying that goes on like, wait for it. Yeah. I can't find it right now, but we're going to go back into it a little later. It's coming to me. I'll find it out. But right now, this is what you call a house Negro. This man depends, his livelihood depends on white mammy's teat and her efforts. So King Rich is going to say anything and do everything to keep his job. Even though he has been insulted to no end by his paymaster. Because, quite simply, he's African, right? He wants to get to the States. Not to say that all Africans fall under this category. I think he's a one of one, as they say. Well, then again, you have just Pearly style. But let's hear what he has to say here and how he defends his paymaster on what she had to say.
White supremacist and a self-proclaimed racist onto a platform which is primarily supported by, at least initially, and produced by black people. This comes across as insensitive to downright nasty.
I don't know. I don't really agree with that, MTR. I don't agree with that because, I mean, Pearl is not the first person to bring white supremacists or racists onto a show. I just don't agree with that. And the fact that...
Remember what I said about lead blocks, right? This is the lead block right here. This is the one who has to run and take the hits for the running back. This is the house Negro to keep all the field niggas in line. Before running back to master and gaining her approval. Yeah, I'm not mincing words tonight.
Has staff who are black. I mean, that, you know, that's beside the point. Do you know what I mean? I just think that she brought on a controversial person. Obviously, that was going to bring around like a conversation. It was going to get views. People are going to want to hear what goes down. I think that, you know, this is not the first show that has brought white supremacists on. Do you get what I'm saying? So, I mean, Oprah's done it. Jerry Springer's done it. A lot of other people.
Come back for part 3. Come back for part 3 in a bit. I'm just going to...
particular point.
Instagram has a terrible policy about hours and everything has to be done in an hour. So come back in the next hour. We're just gonna finish up, but we're gonna continue things on YouTube on Talk Live. Be back in a bit.
Promote civil discourse.
Okay.
Put your up was to not only not defend the people who help create the content on your platform, but to also push a narrative that is insensitive and damaging to those very same people. Pearl, you know that your staff is mostly black people. And I'm talking about from a production perspective as well as a talent perspective. You also know that the majority of your content
We're back on Talk Live here. Just to pause this here for a second. We're here on the final leg of the first part one of the Just Pearly Things controversy, and we're listening to the other side of the coin, literally. And his name is King Riches, who's an employee, or should I say, well, I won't go that far, but he's an employee of Just Pearly Things. He's on her channel. So again, he's he garners views from Just Pearly Things. So therefore, there people are willing to do anything for that money. Even having known racists and being called racist names to your face and being denounced. Well, again, you think you absolve yourself from the situation, but history will hold him to account, and his name is King Riches. Let's continue.
black relationship issues. You could have had.
I'll say this from my own point of view. I've had my channel for many, many years before any of you even knew Just Pearly Things. Before I was working with her, I had a channel and I talked about, racial issues and things of that nature, as well as, the dating dynamics and, men's self-improvement. So, I just want to make that clear, because a lot of people, they're coming out and saying stuff along the lines of, oh yeah, you can't say nothing because Pearl's your boss and blah blah blah. I've always been able to say what I want on my channel, and that is just being consistent and constant. So I just want to make that clear.
Black people.
So why are you saying something like this as you're saying now? But you'll find out. Hold on, it's coming. You'll find out. Watch out, it's coming.
Sitting in the same room with this person in order to combat some of the hellacious things that were coming out of his mouth, or to have a different perspective that would have lent itself well to demonstrate the respect for the people that watch your content and that you employ. I don't think that your platform would be as big as what it is today if it wasn't for the essential utilization of black people, black relationship topics, and black talent. And the talent came from all over. When you include the likes of an Andrew Tate, all the way down to a Brittany Renner. And even from a content creator perspective, from me to a Melanie King, to a Sarah Garvey, to a King Riches, to an Auntie Jenny. So for those just unaware of what's been going on, Pearl has recently come under fire for these particular comments.
I'm trying to get my Africans in America. My Africans. Oh gosh.
I don't know why you had to do that, like that little, rewind 3 times, like.
Because he's reminding you of who you are, you dumbass. You dumb ass. You sit there and you yet hear what he's saying, hear what she's saying, and you don't listen. Take those goddamn dreads out your ears and listen. She's insulting you to your face. And you sit there like a deer in the headlights. You stupid man.
I mean, Brett, like, it sounds like you're trying to, push a narrative with that, and I kind of feel like that's a bit unfair, because...
It's not unfair. She said it with her own mouth, but you... Continue.
You know Pearl personally. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, you know her personally. You've had conversations with her. You got to know her. Just as I've got to know her, you know she's not racist, bro. So, I think that...
You don't know she's racist. You don't know she's racist. She's only known you for a couple of months to a year. Don't give me that bull. It's because you're getting money in your pocket that you're running bloody blocks for her, you stupid man. And yet you don't have the temerity, you don't have the balls, you don't have the simple scheme to extricate yourself from this situation. Because you are a slave to the almighty dollar.
Little repeating little my Africans part. Yeah, to me, that's a bit distasteful, but you know, let's keep going.
Oh boy.
You're distasteful, but even though it came out of your boss's lips, right? You're an idiot. Out of it.
It sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
Let me just stop it there, yeah? And I'm gonna be very honest, like, and I told Pearl, and I checked Pearl on that myself, like, the next day, I was just like, that was a really, like, poor choice of words. I think that...
I would love to see how you check Pearl. I would love to see how he checked Pearl. I would love to see it. It's like this story that my girlfriend told me the other day. This woman said, I'm going to check her. I'm going to do everything and do this and that. And I'm going to make sure that this woman knows where I stand. The woman that she wanted to check came in the room and she said nothing. I would love to see how you check Pearl on it. I would love to see it. Love to. I'll tell you something. I'll tell you what. You wouldn't have got the seat right here if you did. I know you would. But again, you don't have the balls to walk away.
She didn't really understand that. Yeah, you are saying that slavery was horrible, but when you say embellish, it kind of makes it out to be like it wasn't as bad as people think it is. And she understands that it was bad. Do you get what I'm saying? She said it was horrible, but when you add the embellish part, it just kind of, it comes across as sour. Do you get what I'm saying? It's going to rub people the wrong way. It's going to make people have just a bad reaction towards what you're saying and towards you as personally. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, as I said, I know Pearl personally. You know, I've been around her for a long time, and if she was racist, I wouldn't work with her. It doesn't matter what money or what deal we're in, I wouldn't work with her. At
the end of the day, she just showed you she's racist, but yet you sit there and still take the money. Your intentions and your actions don't connect. And there's a special 2 words for you. I'll let the audience answer that for themselves.
the end of the day, she does a lot of things, a lot of positive things for a lot of people, and puts a lot of people in good positions, and she doesn't have to. Do you get what I'm saying? So I understand. I understand that.
Rewind that part again. One more again. Start that again.
It doesn't matter what money or what deal we're in. I wouldn't work with her. At the end of the day, she does a lot of things, a lot of positive things for a lot of people, and puts a lot of people in good positions, and she doesn't have to. Do you get what I'm saying? So I understand. I understand that she may have not really understood what she was saying, but I did have to let her know that it was taken offensively. Like, me personally watching it, I didn't like what she said, and I told her straight to her face that, you know, it left a sour taste in my mouth, and, you know, she has to address it. You know what I mean? I was very, like, straightforward, and looking in her eye, just as I'm looking at you lot in the eye, I told her she has to address that, and that's not okay. It's not cool, you know, and you know, it's gonna make people not like you. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and that's it. So, yeah. As for Nick Fuentes, I mean, he's Nick Fuentes. What do you expect? Like, he's a white supremacist, and to be honest with you, I feel like it may not have been a good idea for her to bring him on. Like, personally, I wouldn't have him on my channel. Obviously, as I am a black guy, I just don't agree with anything he's got to say, and I don't agree with his ideology. So, you know, we're not in the same team at all. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Now what's crazy?
The fact of the matter is, you say all these things, fine, you hold her accountable, so what? The fact of the matter is, she said these things, and she brought it upon herself to agree with him on many topics. She offered no pushback. You are sitting with a sympathizer of a known racist. You're sitting with a sympathizer to a known racist. For the fact that you can say that she's not racist is insensitive and is a lie in the least. It's duplicitous in the least. Very duplicitous.
Is that I came across these comments while I was live streaming a couple of days ago, and what started out as a laughy, jokey live stream where I wanted to talk about my time up in London quickly diverted to one of the worst live streams that I've ever had in my life. And honestly, it was a trip to hell as I discovered the magnitude of the conversation that she had with this figure by the name of Nick Fuentes. Specific to the...
I'll be real, I didn't even know who Nick Fuentes was until he, was here. I'd never heard of him. I didn't know anything about this guy, but then I was quickly informed that, he had these radical views. And, I was just, I was not really interested in working with him like that. And even after when he left, I was very kind of like on edge about the whole dynamic of him being on anyone's channel. Do you know what I mean? So that was just my honest opinion. But yeah.
Comments regarding slavery being embellished. I said this on the stream, and I maintain it today, that Pearl needs to be held responsible for this comment. Likening a quote from the writer of Roots explaining a myth for his people to hold on to does not negate the documented history of the atrocities that happened to black people.
And I will say this, like, again, in conversations with Pearl, I basically said the same thing, obviously, being a black person, you are going to have more of a deeper...
Okay, lead block. Okay, lead block. Okay.
You're going to have a deeper emotion towards the whole slavery dynamic, even as a guy who is African, have African heritage. My mum and dad are both Nigerian. Slavery is in everywhere around the world. But as first generation in the UK, we face prejudice and racism. I know I have personally growing up and stuff like that. And there's certain things or certain feelings and connotations that will come up if somebody who is not black will say something like slavery was embellished. Do you get what I'm saying? And that was something that, I believe that me and top producer, we both spoke to Pearl, off camera, and we made it very clear that, using the word slavery or saying the phrase slavery was embellished, it just is not, it's just not cool. Like, you can't be saying things like that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, slavery was a horrible, tragic, disgraceful period in history, which happened specifically to, when it's specifically happened in the transatlantic slave trade, and it was a disgusting era in human history. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, she's explained to me, or explained to us as a team, as a network, what she meant by that comment. And I honestly, again, I will say, Pearl is not racist. She used a poor choice of words, and I believe we have checked her on it. We spoke to her directly without holding back and stuff like that. It's not some situation where, oh my God, Pearl's the boss and she's the slave owner and we have to all be shaking in our boots. Like, it's absolutely not like that at all.
I beg to differ. I think it's exactly like that. And you know what makes it like that? The filthy lucre. It makes slaves of all of us. But in these instances, when she says certain things, you can't be running lead block. You cannot be running lead block. when she basically insults you to your face. Your job is to walk away. Literally walk away. But you didn't choose to do that. You chose to sit here and take the hits for a woman who should be taking the hits herself. For stuff she dished out on her own. You got to see the real Pearly things, not the one you see every day. You got to see the real one. The real one.
And the people that try to make it out to be like that are people who are probably jealous and wish they were in a position like mine or like top producers or like any of ours, because we're doing well.
And there it is. I was waiting for that comment. I was waiting for that silly, nonsensical comment. We're jealous of the fact that Pearly has the platform to pay you guys what you want. That is coonery, tomfoolery, Uncle Tomery of the highest regard. Of the highest regard. When you resort to money as your defense to stay where you are, you have nothing to stand for. Nothing to stand for. Let that be known. You have nothing to stand for. From then on, this is just white noise, but I'm going to listen in to this nonsense and hear what other mess ups you have in your repertoire. But because quite simply, from that comment alone, it shows your sheer and utter ignorance. King Riches.
That's what I honestly believe. Anyway, let's carry on.
And I'd argue that Roots
You need to carry on.
a light depiction of the savagery that my forefathers had to go through to ensure that I would be here today. But let me explain a little bit further how thoroughly that this actually is, because for me it comes down to a question of ethics. You're interviewing a known Nazi.
And let this be known again, people, and let this be known again. This is washing off like a duck back on him right now. This is washing off like a duck's back on him right now. Let that be known. This is all white noise to him. To King Riches I'm talking about here. Because he's not the target, the sincere target of pain here. And even if he was, he's already given himself his own views. The money washes me of any responsibility here, which is sad. Very, very sad that African diaspora would react in this way in these circumstances. But it takes all kinds, right? Takes all kinds. Takes all kinds.
Sympathizer and an anti-black creator and not offering any pushbacks whatsoever.
And I agree with him there. I think that apart from just like the mistake of bringing on Nick Fuentes, which in my opinion, I think that was a mistake on Pearl's part. You know, obviously it's up to discretion whoever she wants to bring on her channel. You know, it's her channel. She's grown it. She's worked hard on it. She can do whatever she wants, right? And nobody can tell her who she can't bring on her channel, right? But in my opinion, I feel like that particular personality was not he just wasn't a good guest. He was not somebody that should be given a platform like that. That's just my personal opinion. And also, just like what MTR was saying, there was no like black representative to give enough of a balance on that particular show. You know, I'm not even saying me. I'm not even saying I'm qualified enough to be that black representative. I mean, it would have been good to be there, but you know, even if it was somewhere like, I don't know, Dr. Umar Johnson or someone like that, like that would have given enough balance and would have made it more, fair. Do you know what I mean? So that's just my take on that.
In fact, you're adding in your own fake news regarding the embellishment or the exaggeration of slavery. Additionally, there are times within the conversation where it's laughy, it's jokey, it's kikiing, especially when you got specific in certain comments that reflected on CP time. And let me also say this, is that generally CP time is something that's laughed amongst people of melanation, but it's not taken as a joke when you're doing it with a person who is a self-proclaimed racist.
Again, I have to agree. Like, again, Pearl didn't mean anything, malicious by what she said, right? She obviously didn't mean anything malicious, but the fact.
Do you believe that? She didn't mean anything malicious by what she said? She didn't mean anything malicious from what she said. Let's do this quickly. Where are we here? Let's do this quickly. Let's do this quickly. Here we go. Didn't mean anything malicious by what she said. Okay, let's go again. Just a little recap here. Didn't mean anything malicious by what she said. Let's hear what she said again.
Kissing white ass, you will just explain away.
Hold on, back up.
But you kind of deny it happened.
Yeah, I deny some of the parts of
You
it.
deny parts of it don't seem realistic to you. You
Right.
think they were embellished upon.
I think they're embellished, yeah.
The same way. This sounds. Oh gosh.
Oh boy.
They're gonna
You're
be
gonna
in
get
trouble.
yourself
This sounds similar to the slavery stuff too, because that's literally the founder of, or the guy who made Roots said, I wanted a myth for my people to live by. So they often, but that's what they do, is they embellish. And I'm not trying to say it wasn't horrible, it was.
Right.
But they want to make it like more horrible so that they can control people.
No, nothing malicious by that, right?
Now, though, that's her in her own words.
Sorry.
2 weeks
I wanted to stop that. That wasn't malicious in any way, right? That was in her own words, right? There's nothing malicious by that, right, King Riches? Nothing malicious? Hey? Some people can't see the forest for the trees, especially when they have earphones and dreads on.
Fact that she was in a room with someone with Nick Fuentes, or had Nick Fuentes on the couch, it made it a completely sour moment. It made it a moment that could be, taken the wrong way, like ha ha ha, you lot are laughing and joking, and I understand where people are coming from with that, but to be honest, I don't think the whole CPT or whatever, I don't think it was that deep, to be honest.
You're not that deep, King Riches. You're not that deep. You're a surface level, gotta get paid Negro. You're not that deep. There are levels deeper, but you're not that deep. As long as you get paid, you don't need to be deep. You don't need to be analytical. You don't need to stand up for your people. Don't need to, huh? Okay. Julie noted.
Now that I've had the opportunity to digest all of the information, now that I'm not on live stream with thousands of people looking at me, and in the back of my mind thinking towards the tens of thousands that are waiting for the perfect reaction from me, I begin to question why you didn't sympathize with the plight of African Americans or black people in general, and not.
And we already said she don't like African Americans. Run-of-the-mill African Americans she does not like. It's only the successful ones. It's only the stars, the entertainers, the people to whom she subscribes. The Kevin Samuels of the world. Those are the only ones she likes.
Or the people that you know that watch your channel. That's questionable at the very least, and it shows to me a degree of misguided that you are regarding our culture and that you have some introspection to do and you have to find a newfound respect for understanding more about the people that work for you or who a component of the content is made for.
Honestly, I don't think Pearl really was thinking about it that deep. And that kind of got her into this situation. I'll be honest with you. I think she didn't really think on all the different levels of dynamics of having a guest like Nick Fuentes, you know, and what would be okay and what wouldn't be okay.
The fact of the matter is, she shouldn't have had him on in the first place. Sure, you want some controversy, but there's a toll. If you're going to have, listen, let's rewind that back. Let's take this back. If you're going to have somebody on the show like that and don't appear like you're promoting his message, guess what? You need to have a counterbalance. You need to have someone who goes against his talking points. But clearly you did, because you had a certain affinity with some of his views. There is an affinity here. And it is clear as day to see. But some are blinded and can't hear.
As in just light-heartedness. I don't think she really thought about it. Now, that doesn't make her racist. That may make her, like, you know, she didn't really think about it to its entirety, but that definitely doesn't make her racist. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah.
The embellishment of slavery is where you display the true level of your insensitivity and lack of understanding about the culture that you have immersed yourself in, whether you like it or not. Pearl, at the end of the day, you f***ed up. I completely, as I said on that stream, denounce your statements. And I believe that you need to be held completely accountable for your words and your actions. And I want you to do it for the sake of my history, for the sake of my community, for the sake of my audience, and the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me, Pearl. The people that found you through my channel because of these actions. And Pearl, we had a one-on-one conversation before I recorded this video. And I told you I can no longer work with you. We had a dating show that was in the pipe.
See, this part is a bit... This part is where it kind of threw me, like, because, you know, obviously we'd recorded some stuff. MTR's now saying that he doesn't want anything to do with Pearl or whatever, you know, and I don't know, bruv. I don't know.
No, it's called he does know. It's because he does know. He's doing the responsible thing. If he doesn't agree with his views, he steps away from them. That's the responsible thing to do. That is the manly thing to do. That is a scrupulous thing to do. Do you know what scruples means? Let's look it up. I hate using words without actually referring to them. Let's look at what scruples are. Scruples. You can follow me on Talk to Talk live here. Scruples definition. Yes, indeed. There we go. A man with scruples. A feeling of doubt or hesitation with regards to the morality or propriety of a course of action. Qualms, compunction, hesitation, reservations. I had no scruples about eavesdropping. This is a man who had a hesitation about the morality and propriety of Pearl's course of action. Clearly you didn't. Because if you're calling it into question, King Riches, I'm glad I never listened to you in the first place. Because clearly, you don't have scruples.
Because, like, you know Pearl personally. It's not like you did some live stream and you've only spoke to her on FaceTime calls and stuff like that. You know her personally. Like, to the point where, you know, doing a U-turn or like just kind of disavowing or excommunicado. I don't know if that's fair. Like,
It is fair. She went ahead and she did something with no recourse, with no foresight into steps that would come thereafter. But you, King Riches, it's all in your name, right? As long as you get rich, who cares what she says? Who cares what she does? You said it yourself. People are jealous of your money. So you're going to follow Boss Lady. Okay. Well, I'm following him because he doesn't have to kowtow to your Boss Lady's money. How's that? How's that? How's that, King Riches? How's that? Some people, it's like the old saying that my man said here. Some people will sit for everything and stand for nothing. I guess that's what we're getting here, right? I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees. I guess that's what King Richards is doing, living on his knees, right? White Mass's teat, yes? Okay.
now everything to do with being held accountable for what you say and checking her, where she's gone wrong or what you or I found offensive. Because I'll be real, as I said, the whole embellishment comment, to me personally, I don't agree with that at all. I think I did pull her up on that. I told her that she has to, address what she was saying and make it clear what she meant by that, and make it clear for everybody, the viewers, subscribers, everybody. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Absolutely. But to just kind of oh yeah, I don't mess with you no more, I don't F with you no more, like, it's just kind of like, I don't know, like.
It's called having a backbone, King Riches, which clearly you don't have. One man has a backbone, and one man doesn't. One man slinks on air to take the hits for his boss, his lady boss, his massa boss. The other one absolves himself from any and takes accountability. Apologizes for his activities, and stands for the African diaspora. Stands for it. You'd rather lay down and die, King Riches. And that's fine. You're doing what you want to do because you're making that money, right? Oh, well. Racism comes in any shade. In every shade. Let's go.
That's sour in itself, in my opinion. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Like, especially, bro, when I don't know, someone like that, it's just, I don't know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. No, you don't know. You really don't know. You are who you are, King Riches. We know who you are. We know where you stand. I don't want to get into any sort of war or fight with you because you'll turn tail and run for the next guy. I know this now. I know this. I know where you are. Man, we get it. We get it. We get where you stand, King Riches. We get it. I usually don't dig in on my black brothers, but when they act like this, I dig in. And clearly, you stand for nothing.
And I was super excited about releasing this content on your platform and then cutting it up and putting it up on my platform and reacting to it. We did great content up there. But along with these statements that have come up, I no longer feel comfortable in having that dating show footage released along with the other content that was recorded up there onto your platform. I plan in the future not to release more content up onto the channel regarding my time in London. And to be honest, frankly, it really sucks because I had a lot that I wanted to be able to speak about. And again, to my community, to my audience, to the people who have followed me and will continue to follow me into the future, I have to take personal accountability for my working relationship with Pearl. And trust me when I say I take full ownership and full accountability. I had absolutely no idea of the comments that were made in the Nick Fuentes interview. And had I known this prior to, I would not have gone to London. I did not know about this until I came back. And then I went and did a live stream, and then my supporters let me know. For everyone else out there who's ever supported the platform, and
My question is, I just wonder if MTR watched the whole video. That's because a lot of times, as a content creator, and I'm sure he's probably experienced this himself. You know, people out there, they will cut clips of long videos, like a video that could be like 3 hours long, and then they will cut like 30 seconds and make it like that was the whole 3 hours. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, press 1 if you know what I'm talking about. They'll cut certain segments out of context and try to make somebody...
For this man to be running blocks like this for his mammy, for his boss lady, is truly disgusting. It is truly, utterly beneath all sorts of decency. This is what people do for money these days, right? They will sell out, and this is a sellout. This is the embodiment of a sellout. Lady is running him his money. And this is what he's doing with the honey. Running sincere blocks. And quite simply, reprehensible.
The YouTuber look as horrible and as terrible as possible just on 30 seconds out of a 3-hour video. So, like, my question, I would just like to know, like, did MTR watch the whole video? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Send super chats. And for everyone who has been affected by this situation, like I said, I take...
But again, that's not to, you know, I guess, cape or, you know, oh, I'm coming to, you know, say that Pearl was right about saying embellishment. I'm absolutely, listen, again, I'm not with Camp Nick Fuentes. I think that he's a white supremacist. That's my viewpoint on it. He said he actually said he's a racist himself, so I'm going to agree with what he said. He must be a racist because he even said it himself. You know, I didn't know the guy from before. I don't know anything about him, and I don't want to know anything about him, to be honest. And there's no content with me and him on my channel. Do you get what I'm saying? I think everything else, you know, Pearl said was, you know, very minor. The only thing that she said that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was the whole embellishment comment. But again, like, you know, I spoke to her directly, personally, and told her how I felt about it, and I told her how black people was gonna see that. You know, and I told her that she's got to address it, which she's done. You know, so like, I don't know, man. There's ways to go about things, innit? But anyway.
Full accountability. For those of you guys that have followed my platform for a long time, do understand.
He gets it, but he doesn't get it. He gets it, but he doesn't get it. And that's his mistake. Either you kneel for everything or stand for nothing. Well, clearly he stands for nothing. So he's kneeling here. King Rich is showing his 2 crowns to me today. Or on this day. On this podcast here. And then we're going to stop in a minute.
Understand that I've selected, at least I thought I've selected, with a fine-tooth comb who I have chosen to work with. If you guys already...
But bro, the thing is, everybody says things wrong. Everybody makes mistakes, bro. Like, at the end of the day, again, I'm not, you know, caping. I'm not simping. Yeah, I'm not trying to, you know, cover up people's mistakes or try to make out something it's not. No, I think that she did mess up by bringing Nick Fuentes, and I do think she messed up by saying slavery was embellished. She may agree or disagree. But at the end of the day, everybody F's up sometimes. Nobody is 10-10 perfect all of the time. So for now, especially when you know this, you know Pearl, now you're like, I disavow and excommunicado and all of this, and I thought I knew who this person. But it's kind of weird, and especially for the fact that you've had conversations with this person off, behind the camera as well. It's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
There is something to know. It's one man who has, again, integrity, and one who doesn't. One man who's there running block for Mama Just Pearly, and one who isn't. One man who's there for the integrity of his race, and one who takes it as a joke, makes light of the subject. Who am I siding for? That's clear.
a lot of people, okay? I also have a no beef policy on my platform because I think it does us no good to continue to promote fights and spats. I'm all about delivering value at the end of the day. But as a man in this space, I got to take full ownership and full accountability. And along with my accountability, this is now my definitive stance. I can no longer support or associate myself with the Just Pearly Things platform. And for those who still wish to continue to support voices of women that are down into the space who agree with the particular message that we put up on Jump Street, I want you guys to go check out and follow the following.
Nah, man, I'm not trying to hear. Now he wants to start talking about other female, like, bro, I'm not really interested about other one. I take it off the screen, man. Let me just say my bit, bro. Like, at the end of the day,
We've already heard from you, mate. I'm done. So done. End of the day, we've heard from you. And we are done. Literally done. I'm done with you, King Riches. I'm done with Just Pearly Things, quite simply. But this is only part 1, people. We have part 2 to get through. Part 2 of the Just Pearly Things controversy is up and coming tomorrow. So let me get off screen right here because we've gone long enough. I just wanted to get point and counterpoint today and what she actually said. And we've been here. Oh, wow. We've been here for a while. We've been here for at least 2 hours, 45 minutes. So we're going to get out of here right now. And we're going to go into part 2 tomorrow night. Tomorrow night. So we're going into part 2 of the Just Pearly Things controversy. Yes. Yes. Let me bring it back to full screen here. Thank you for joining me on Talk Live. Back to the full cam. It was a long one, but it was a strong one. That is what's captivating Black YouTube and the Manosphere right now. Right now. The Just Pearly Things controversy heard from both ends of the spectrum, both from Just Pearly Things and her incendiary comments to mediocre tutorial reviews, defending the culture, to King Riches running lead bot for Mammy. We'll be back tomorrow night. Part 2 of Just Pearly Things, where we have just begun to cook. I have a few more guests, including one who did a masterful job at breaking down the true meaning of what Just Pearly Things had to say. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live and direct from the city of Toronto. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Spring Summer line out now. Go get it. It is fire line. It's a fire line with more things to come. I've seen some of the new stuff, and it is fantastic. So, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We'll be back tomorrow night. And thank you, and we'll look forward to seeing you then, to my YouTube and my IG audience, with greater things to come. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we'll be chopping this up, especially that last hour, because that was some good content that I've released there. Anyways, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live, and we'll be back tomorrow. And good night from Toronto. And to my YouTube viewers, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We'll be back tomorrow night to talk about this subject again, the Just Pearly Things comments and the controversy that still lingers within the YouTube spaces. It is big things in these YouTube streets. And we'll be back tomorrow night to further flesh out this topic with a few more commentary from a few more people. And look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. And we'll be back tomorrow live on IG and YouTube. And we'll be back soon. So good night from Toronto.